Am I the a-hole for being upset that my mom isn't free at all this summer? Okay, for context, I'm going into my junior year of high school, and I just finished my sophomore year. My parents are divorced, so I spend 1 month at my dad's and 1 month at my mom's for the summer. This year, I have my dad during June 10th to July 10th, and my mom during July 10th to August 10th. A month prior to school ending, I asked my mom what plans she had for the summer, vacation-wise, and she said none that involved me or my siblings, but she is going to Kenya for 2 weeks in July. She's leaving on the 11th and coming back on the 25th. I do color guard/marching band at school, and I start summer band on the 27th and don't end until school starts. The only time I have with her is the days before the 10th of July and the 26th of July, so, a couple of days ago, I texted her asking if she wanted to go to the water park with me, my friends, and their parents on the 5th of June. She shut me down and said she wasn't free because she was working that day. Then I suggested the 6th, which was a Saturday. She said no because she's hosting her choir that day. I suggested the weekend after, which I would technically be with my dad, but my dad has no problem with letting me visit my mom when I'm with him. She said no again because she had a commitment that day, and she didn't specify further. I asked her to give me one weekend she was free, and she said that she is never free. I asked her how we were going to do anything if she wasn't free at all, and expressed how upset I felt that she doesn't have one free weekend where we can go out and do something. She accused me of gaslighting her. I tried explaining that I'm just trying to tell her how I feel and that if she just doesn't want to go with me to the water park, then I'd rather her just say that than tell me she's busy every day. She then stated that she's not going to the water park with me and said she wasn't going to argue with me, and ended the conversation. I wouldn't be that upset if it wasn't for the fact that she hasn't let me hang out with my friends at all yet, so I've just been in the house all week while she works, and she has no plans for the weekends except church. So essentially, I'm doing nothing but staying home and going to church. So I'm coming on here to see if maybe I'm just being spoiled and I need to give my mom a break, or if my reasoning for being upset is valid. Edit: me and my dad don't have a super good relationship. I try my best to not be at his house because we argue a lot, and I'm not fond of my stepmom either. Update 1: I really hate staying at my dad's house. For background information, my mom and dad have been officially divorced since 2022, and they've had a 50-50 custody agreement since 2021. My dad married my stepmom around late 2022 to early 2023. He never told me they were married until I searched up their marriage records and found out myself. But nonetheless, my stepmom was nice to me in the beginning. She started to ignore me after she and her kids moved in with my dad and only talked to me when I did something wrong. My relationship with my dad has been strained since 2021, when my parents first told me they were separating. Today, I tried to fix it by talking to my dad. At first, it was just a normal conversation, but then when my stepmom came home, she asked to sit in on the conversation, and I agreed. Everything went downhill from there. I'm horrible at retelling things, but I will try my best to convey what went down. Basically, I went super deep and started telling my dad that he's never apologized for things he did that hurt me, and he continued to refuse to apologize. Every time I brought up a different situation, he turned it around and made it seem like I was the one in the wrong, and basically told me that I should be grateful he's not spanking me. I tried to reason with him and tell him he's going to push me away like he did with the rest of my siblings, but he wouldn't listen. And then I brought up how I hated staying at his house because it felt like my stepmom didn't like me because she always ignored me and never bothered to talk to me, regardless of how many times I tried to talk to her. And that was the turning point in the conversation. My stepmom blew up. She started going off on me and telling me that no one in the house ever showed her any gratitude, including my dad. She told me I shouldn't blame her for anything because apparently, she regretted marrying my dad and said that she was depressed. She said that if I didn't want her there, she would leave. I told her that I don't want her to leave because she makes my dad happy, and then she interrupted me, saying that my dad is upset at her and implied that I was wrong about my dad loving her. The worst part is she said this in front of my 2 younger twin siblings and her own kids. They're all under 12, and the youngest of all the kids is 6. I snapped at her and told her that wasn't okay to say in front of children. She said, and I quote, "I don't care." My dad stopped her and called a family meeting, but after that, I zoned out. I did record most of the argument, including what my stepmom said, but I don't know what use that is. I've always hated staying at my dad's, but now I hate it more than ever. I'm here until July 10th due to the custody agreement, and if I want to go to my mom's house, I have to get permission from my dad, which I'm very sure he won't give. I don't even know what to do. I'm only 16. I really don't know how to deal with this. Final update: my mom refused to file for full custody. After the entire argument with my dad and stepmom, I went to my mother's house along with my younger sister. Although my dad wasn't very happy to let me go to my mom's, and he originally told me I couldn't go, he eventually let up. I've been at my mom's since Sunday, and on Monday, we got into an argument about the whole custody arrangement between her and my dad. Basically, what happened was she refused to file for full custody because it's a lot of time and money, and she thinks it'll ruin the relationship with me and my dad. I argue that she's downplaying everything I've put up with for the last 5 years I've had to live with my dad. I told her my mental health tanks whenever I'm at his house and that our arguments never stop. My dad also said during our argument that I originally posted about that me staying at my mom's house full-time wouldn't affect him at all after I threatened to stop coming to his house. I begged my mom to not let me go back there, and she refused to listen to me because my dad technically isn't abusive. I told her that even if he's not physically abusive, his attempts to manipulate me and the decisions he makes for the family hurt me and my mental health. And my dad isn't always bad. He's fine when I'm seeing him for short periods of time, but whenever I stay with him for long periods of time, that's when all the arguments start. He's insufferable to live with. I'm 100% sure that our relationship would be so much healthier if I saw him every other weekend instead of 50% of the time, but my mom won't listen to me, and it feels like no one else is either. Even if I have other people on my side, it won't matter if I don't have my parents on my side. It hurts me to know that I could be a lot happier than I am right now if my parents would listen to me. But my dad is never going to change. I know because I've had multiple talks with him in the past about his behavior, and he refuses to even acknowledge anything. And I'm not the first child to go through this. My 3 older half-sisters went through the same thing, and now they're low/no contact with my dad. And my mom, who is my only way out of this situation, won't help me. So I'm at a loss on what to do. Even if I do go to court to change the custody agreement, I doubt I'd have enough evidence to prove that being at my dad's house isn't good for me. I can't recite every single thing my dad has done to me off the top of my head, and I only have the recording of 2 arguments. I still have 2 more years under my dad's roof, but I don't know if I can handle it for that long.